kind of like a mixing board. I know how to do the volume.
Yes. It's cool sound.
All you have to do is make sure the light doesn't go into the red.
Yeah, there's 500 knobs. I can do the volume.
Right, yes.
Where's the holes in?
So yeah, just go. Oh yeah, that's whatever you're mixing up. All right, so cool. So we're recapping the River City Fit Expo, right? With my boys Markus and Lucas from Offscript and my man Scott from Scott Otis Jiu Jitsu. We've been combing through tons of footage, so and just kind of talking about how we kind of compile that before we get started here. So, I don't know when this will be out or when this will drop, but
next week.
So next week. So that would be 2 weeks removed from the River City Fit Expo, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So 2 weeks removed from the River City Fit Expo. In my view, huge success, nothing but positive feedback. The negative stuff we've heard, we could all figure out kind of what was going on, and it was nothing major. It was like noise bleed over. A lot of the negative stuff was just stuff that we came up with. It wasn't anything that was noticeable by the public or people that coming in. Huge response and positive feedback from the strongman competition and all of the competitors, from the powerlifting competition, all the competitors, from the jiu-jitsu people and the spectators that came and saw that. And then, the Total Chaos guys kind of ended it up and had a lot of fun with that as well. So on the other end of the spectrum was or on the other end of the building, I guess I should say, was the bodybuilding people who could not have flown, could not have
biggest NPC Indiana
flowed any better.
So.
Right. Yeah. So 31 years in the making, and it was still the biggest one ever. So in our first year doing it. So high five, guys.
Right. Yeah.
Good job.
Let's go.
Good job.
Let's go.
Good job. So, and not taking away credit from the people that weren't here. We just kind of threw this thing together because we're going to Mexico next week, and we need to
let's recap this while it's fresh in our brains.
Yeah. So, Lucas, Markus, Offscript, you guys probably, and literally captured the most of the things going on there.
Yeah.
What was your initial thoughts after we shut it down on Saturday night?
No, so the event itself, just what a whirlwind, honestly.
Do we know how many people showed? Like how many people were?
I just heard final numbers yet, but only thing I heard was there were over 200 total athletes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I believe we reached 100 in the bodybuilding competition, and over 1,000 tickets sold. So and that's more than double what last year was.
So somewhere between 1,500 and
I would say
2,000.
so. Yeah. And when there was tons of kids there. That kids area that we had was jam packed all day long, and we didn't even they weren't charged or whatever. Like 13 and under was free or whatever. It was
and you just combine all the people that were there with the staff.
People that didn't come through the actual
coaches and
sure.
Yeah. Just all the volunteers, the whole team, like all the media crew, and then like the O&B staff and everything as well. With like just kind of
those guys are a shout out to those guys.
Yeah,
those guys were
keeping
amazing.
all of it flowing. And
Chris and Ben.
Yeah,
we wore Chris and Ben out, but they did a good job.
We were exceptionally needy at times, and they wouldn't barter a single thing. It was easily a smooth experience the entire time from top to bottom with them. I think as soon as it ended, I think the initial feeling was just a deep sigh of relief that we just pulled it off.
Yeah.
It was one of those where we didn't necessarily know what to expect. We knew that we had a bunch of really, really cool ideas, but it's okay. Like ideas are great, but can you execute them?
Right.
So I think that was, that natural lingering cloud over all of us of just like, all right, we know this can work, but will it?
Well, and I didn't know what to expect, but I didn't expect it to be as good as it was.
Well, that's a good way to sum it up too. It was like we had all these ideas and nobody knew how it was going to go, and I think my biggest surprise of the entire, especially the day, Thursday, that initial load in, Friday setup, before doors opened on Saturday morning was just, and I can say this now without jinxing it, just how incredibly smooth and easy it was.
Yes.
I mean, there was zero any headaches that were felt during that time or any kind of angst or stress was completely self-induced because there is nothing to have that big of an
nobody's
operation.
Bitching and fighting and
that big of an operation. I mean, the biggest pain was like, hey, can you back your truck up so this other truck can come in? And they're like, oh yeah, sure. I'm like, okay, thanks. That was really about it, you know.
I was concerned about I had that truck and trailer and parking taking up parking spots. I thought, man, I'm gonna get a ticket or something like that. And no hassle.
My truck sat right outside that bay door for 2 solid days. I never got one. Yeah. So I don't, thank you, parking meters.
Shout out city.
Shout out. Yeah. I mean, seriously. I mean, shout out to the city
for being a little bit lenient and kind of being aware of what was going on.
Yeah.
And,
or being supportive to having an event in downtown Evansville. So I think that's important.
Yeah. I think it was cool too, because the folks from who worked in the local areas around OMB were all kind of showing up, kind of scouting it out as we were setting up.
Yeah.
And that was kind of cool because you could just see the just getting out off work crew, and they're all still in their work outfits, wearing their badges from work and stuff, and you would just see them all kind of be like, "Oh, we just want
it had
we
to
see
help.
the hype, we see the commotion, what's happening."
Yeah, from an economic development issue, it had to help because we went out to eat. We had a big crew that went out to eat downtown.
Yeah, sure, yeah. We had Friday afternoon at Birdie's. I mean, we had 30 people there. I mean, I've had 25 people there eating or whatever. It seemed like.
Do we know any comparison data to an event like this? Do we know how many people showed up to the Arnold Classic when it first opened, or do we know what we can compare it to? Or?
That'll be the next recap.
It's also very much like a location thing too. Yeah. So I mean, Evansville, as far as my knowledge, hasn't had anything like this in maybe ever.
And shame on me for not going to the things like RaptorCon and stuff like that. I've always had intentions to go into those things, but I haven't. But I think that the more of those conventions that start to come, it just keeps serving everybody. We need a booth at RaptorCon. RaptorCon needs a booth with us just for promoting upcoming events.
Absolutely.
And I think they're all right there at the National Center, right?
Yeah. Rising tide sails all ships.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So absolutely.
Yeah. There's been a few conventions at the I think Doubletree Hotel right over there.
Yep.
That's where the Muscle used to be at, right?
They used,
really?
They used to host it and everything right there.
Yeah, I went to a little Comic-Con in there once, but it was whenever that Comic-Con came up, everyone was like, "Is this where is this? How do we get?" And I'm like, "The Doubletree, what?" And
Room 360 through 367.
Look for the sign.
But it was actually surprisingly not that. It wasn't that small. It was bigger than the Washington Square events.
Yeah. Well, I think it was a true testament that Evansville will support it. We did not put a outside of social media. We did not put a ton of promotion into this.
And I don't know if that was the right or the wrong approach.
And we won't know for 5 more years while we're doing it.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like we said. It's we didn't necessarily know what to expect. We just knew we had a bunch of ideas, and we just knew the Evansville community needed it and deserved it.
Yeah.
So why not take all of our connections that we have across this massive Midwest fitness network and take it to the 3rd biggest city in the state? We have the most traveled highway system around. Why not? It's really easy to get to Evansville.
Yeah.
It's really easy. So it's why do we not have more cool things? So let's keep generating cool things for the community to support. And
one thing I thought was interesting was that obviously everybody has fitness in mind that are coming to it, but the people that were strong men were next to us and they were watching us. And then then our jiu-jitsu people were watching the strongman competition. So everybody, or the powerlifting or the wrestling, it was very much supportive in the different disciplines, but everybody was kind of cross fans of what was going on.
There's some
I thought that was
overlap
pretty
with some of the competitors, I think, too. With some of like the powerlifting and strongman, I think there's a couple of guys who competed in both.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
I didn't know that.
Well, they were asking even weeks out. Well, especially when we had sumo still on tap.
Yes.
When sumo was
Oh, I forgot we were going to do that.
when sumo was on tap, and gosh, we'll try to get him back next year. But when sumo was on tap to come, there's a lot of those strong men were saying like, "Hey, can we compete in the sumo?" And I was like, "Sure." You know, like everything was yes, and we'll figure it out on the back end of it. You know, that's the way Derek operates on a lot of things. Like just
provide opportunity.
just make it happen, and then if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But you're familiar with the jiu-jitsu community. I'm somewhat familiar with the bodybuilding community. Both of you guys have familiarity in those arenas as well. And the unfortunate stigma attached to it is that we're all aggressive and mean and asshole-ish and, you know, and just so self-absorbed and everything. It could not be any different. It definitely, I mean, Lucas, you're new to the arena. So what's your thoughts on that?
I always knew it was probably not like I expected, if that makes sense. But it was just nice because whenever you're backstage and everybody's about ready to perform and you're walking around with a camera, you would think, you know, a lot of people would get uncomfortable and be like super like, I don't want to be in any of those shots and et cetera, et cetera. And there was really none of that. I mean, everybody was completely cool. Everybody was respectful.
Yeah.
There was so much like communal respect. Everybody was lifting each other up.
Yeah, a lot of camaraderie. Yeah.
Exactly. And it was just really refreshing to see. I mean, and another thing is, well, I guess, yeah, no, I didn't, at least at our competition, I didn't really see any toxicity. You know? And it was really refreshing, you know?
Yeah. I mean, there's always major love, you know, excluding a few bad apples in the jiu-jitsu community.
Yeah. That community can be very cultish.
Yeah.
And, you know, the schools that came, you know, we've got connections with cross-train. And so that helped out. I mean, even after like one of our guys, you know, got beat, and after it was all over, he goes up to the dude and goes, "Hey, show me that entry."
Right.
So they're down, you know, they're down on the mats training.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and they're getting Instagram contact info and hey, come train with us, and you know, what can we do next year, and you know, those kind of things. Yeah. And so like you said, very refreshing to.
It's just the whole vibe is just so cool. And then when you get back there to even like the, you know, the bodybuilding portion of it, the respect comes from, we're all kind of, you know, this, I don't want to sound like cringy or cliche, but like we're all kind of soldiers on this, like we're all here. We've all earned the right to be here. Yeah. And that field that we had this year was strong. I mean, there wasn't a single person there that didn't look like they put forth the effort.
Yeah, like that
I think there was a few of them that were misclassed, you know, but you know, good for them. You just want to get out there and show things off. But the as far as an overall appearance, you didn't see a single person back there that was like, "Oh, buddy, okay," you know, like because you'll see those, you know,
for sure.
And
it was really a top-notch competition, honestly.
Yeah. And the two, you know, I'll keep bragging on Brandon Hancock and the Broadhead? Roger Broadhead guy who just looked like pros up there.
Yeah, Roger just has like a cool aesthetic look.
Roger Broadhead looks like he looks like something that walked out of a Marvel movie.
1000, you know?
He
cast him as Sentry. That's what I want. Yeah, I want Alex Ross to draw Roger Broadhead.
And we had two guys that were 75 and 76 years old, I believe.
Do you know those guys' names? They're there every year.
Barry, Bart.
Yeah,
it starts with a B.
Oh, they'll be there every year.
I mean, it was incredible.
Yeah, they're awesome.
It was incredible.
Just good energy.
And they bring it.
Finger guns and everything.
Oh yeah,
cool music.
Did you see those guys? Those two old guys? Oh yeah, they're 70.
Stole the show. Yeah,
they're great.
Guys.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Just get up and let loose, you know. But then, you know, kudos to the women as well. I mean, they just all look great.
There's a huge crew of first time competitors this year too. That, I mean, I don't know. I've never stepped on a bodybuilding stage. I don't have plans to step on a bodybuilding stage.
Me either.
But like, I just am permanently impressed at just the everything it takes, like the mental fortitude, the trials, the tribulations, everything it takes to go through that entire process. And
the discipline. I mean,
what do you?
It's crazy.
I'm not that guy. I like Snickers. I like ice cream. I'm gonna stress eat if I'm stressed, and like I got things to do. Like I can't imagine committing yourself for that extended period of time to get on stage and have other people all judge your body. Massive respect for anyone willing to do that, and for so many people to be like, this is the show that I want to go and like debut this part of my life at. That's really cool, and it always makes me feel special when it's just like, okay, like the muscle is now a huge part of like your journey. And like,
do we know how many competitors that was their first show?
Probably 30.
I was gonna say, I want to say like
30 or
35.
so.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I want to say 35.
A large portion of the female competitors were first timers.
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah, a large portion of them. There's been expansion in the female divisions as well. So I mean that it helps. It's more
women's
inclusive for a
wellness.
lot of
Opened
more opportunities for people to do that. But it's that the Muscle was the first show that I did, and it was welcoming then, and the whole entire community was fantastic. So
the venue was great, I thought. I mean, and even the people working there were great.
they're great.
I mean,
and again, and we're going to keep kind of tossing it to the city of Evansville. No matter what these like what you think of it, Evansville can be a big deal. You just have to have people that can have the balls to do it and just say, we're just going to do this. Those people are ready to work, and they love being a part of it. I mean, I am sure we were a pain in the ass. He said we weren't, but I am 100% sure that we were a pain in the ass to Chris. Was it Friday night?
His day off.
Well, yeah, when Chris was like, "I'm ready to get out of here, guys." Like, I'm ready to get out of here.
It was my day off.
Yeah. So, shout out to Chris Passage.
Yeah,
awesome
dude, what a guy.
What a guy. But hey, we need electricity, and like, a couple minutes later there'd be electricity over there. Hey, we need pull and drape. Hey, we need this, we need that, and it was bang, 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 bang. The stage crew that was setting up the lighting and stuff like that. You don't have a respect for what it takes to put on a production like that, but then you get unions involved, which is something I just never even taken into consideration. But I don't remember what the specific rules were, but like, as soon as something gets above 6 feet or something like that, you have to have a union guy come in and do it.
Yep.
So there had to be certain times for those guys to come in, and they were great. I actually see one of them every Friday night at the little restaurant, the taco spot that we go to every Friday night. He's like, "Hey, do you go to Agave's in Henderson?" I'm like, "Yeah, every Friday night." He's like, "I'm there every Friday night too." I'll owe you a margarita next time I go in there, because they're. I mean, everybody was just cool.
I don't know who did it, but when I came back over to get the mats and pick them up, they'd already had the puzzle mats torn apart and stacked up. So I don't know who did it, but thank you for doing that. But I mean, it was just it was
probably Chris.
It was me.
Probably Chris trying to usher things along a little bit.
If I volunteer to do this, they'll leave sooner.
Right.
But Sonny helped me put them down, so thank you for that.
Sure.
You guys look like you're having a real treat putting those down at one point. I walked over and saw you guys trying to line up some of the stuff. And I was like,
you would think it'd be simple. Of course, I messed it up. But Sonny come through. But then we got to wrestle some after. He used to train. So that was fun.
Was there any complaints about the mat, the way it was there? So pretty. So they were jiu-jitsu mats. So they're
jiu-jitsu mats. Shout out to Tunco for sponsor those and buying those.
Yeah.
But there was no complaints on
Tunco,
the mats.
Future podcast guest, right? That guy? Is that the guy from Madisonville?
Oh, the guy, Madisonville.
Yeah.
But
talk about a great story. He'll be on here at some point.
Sweet. This summer, hopefully. If you're hearing this,
I'm not familiar enough with jiu-jitsu at like a competitive level like this. So is a quintet tournament something you commonly see? Like what's the story with that? Like, I know we ended up doing it for this, but it just seemed like a really unique way.
Each and every podcast of the Optimize You Studio is sponsored by Optimize You Evansville. At Optimize U Evansville, we help you take control of your health, performance, and vitality through cutting-edge hormone optimization, peptide therapy, athletic recovery, weight loss, and sexual health solutions. Whether you're an athlete looking to maximize recovery, someone striving for sustainable weight loss, or just looking to feel like your best self again, we used advanced diagnostics and personalized treatment plans to get you there. Our science-backed approach helped optimize energy levels, mental clarity, muscle recovery, and overall well-being. Because feeling great isn't optional, it's essential. You ready to elevate your potential? Let's get started today at Optimize U Evansville, where normal is not optimal.
Yeah, for this deal, when Derek first asked me, I went out to a company that does tournaments, legit, jiu-jitsu tournaments, and they weren't able to do it, and we were like, well, what could we do? Yeah, well, we don't have the means to host a giant
16 mat tournament.
Exactly. Yeah. We don't have the tables and the scoreboards and the refs and getting people to sign up and, Smooth Comp, which is the program that keeps track of everything. And we just didn't have the expertise to that. So I was thinking, okay, what could we do? And there is a guy by the name of Craig Jones, and he's pretty vocal online. Also, probably one of the funniest guys in jiu-jitsu.
All right,
but he came up with this quintet, and it's pretty neat. They formed a pit. They got the pit from some karate tournament, so you can't go out of bounds. So it's called a and then the different weight divisions. So I just basically stole. Plagiarized everything off of
with
that.
Full permission.
Naturally,
Basically, we made some changes to it because you had to. But the one thing like they do, they have like 5 world-class black belts on the team. You're right. And to start, the schools, it'd be hard to field 5 black belt, and so we thought, well, we would make it for the color belts, and you had to have 1 in each division and weight classes and that kind of stuff to make it fun.
Yeah, you might
have a 135 pounder going up against a 225 pound guy. But that's to showcase jiu-jitsu.
But that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, I was like, from someone who doesn't compete in that world, like I just watch a lot of fighting. Yeah, that's something that I find most intriguing about just that whole world is the fact that 135 guy is just as frightening.
It was kind of funny. We were looking at the strongman over there, and I could see them, thinking I just squashed this dude,
for sure.
And that doesn't happen that way. Yeah.
Go ahead. You want to say it
because I was that way when I first started. I thought, what's this guy gonna do to me? And he just beats.
I honestly had nothing.
No, he's saying like watching out. Your favorite. How far can you run? Throw all that out
the way. Scott, let me ask you: do you run?
No.
Well, if you ever got in the ring with TCW, you would need to forget all that shit.
Forget all of that, brother.
If something's chasing me, I'm going to turn around and fight it. I'm not going to run and be tired and then try to fight it. I'm just going
to see how it goes on the ground
while I'm fresh. But
it's still, and I don't need to revisit it, but everybody here knows my jiu-jitsu history. It's still like with just watching those guys standing up and just getting ready. Like, it's just, oh God, just don't, you don't want anybody at all to get hurt, but it's just like, oh my gosh, it's just the energy, that colliding energy and the torque and all that stuff. It's just like, oh my gosh. But
it was fun watching the fights. I think in that sense, or is it fights, matches, right? So it was fun watching them that close, just kind of like as the videographer from that standpoint, because I'm watching it just through a tiny screen, but I'm also just right there and I can hear them breathing and like I can hear them grunting, and like it doesn't look like they're doing a whole lot on the mat in a sense, but you can hear their fingers moving and like them digging into each other, and just the whole effort is right there in a real small compact moment. And that's fascinating because it's just so many wheels turning, waiting
and
for a
it's
mistake.
hard because I mean, everybody makes fun of me when we go to a competition. I always try to Facebook Live it, and I'll be coaching and my phone will be like I'll be videoing the floor instead of the match, But yeah, and
let Scott leave with a tripod today before he goes.
You need a gimbal. That's what it is. Get you one of those Osmos, keep you locked on.
And but anyway, yeah. So I hope that it brings people that have fitness in mind and brings them to the gym. That's the goal is that maybe they come try it out.
Well, I think that I hope at least, and I'm pretty sure this objective was met, which was the main one, was that to introduce other things out there and showcase it other than bodybuilding. Bodybuilding is just, it's so overwhelming for to even fathom be able to do that. Although I'm a true testament that you can, but if that's not your thing, then historically that you're not drawing anybody to this, because even if you are a fan of whatever booth or whatever, some sort of fitness lifestyle brand that's there, you're not going to go to it if it's just a bodybuilding show. Just the exposure of that, the reels that these guys were making. I mean, we had 10 huge vendors that we reached out to and never responded or whatever, kind of told us no that day, saying, when is this next year? We want to come. We want to do this. We'll just sign us up. We're already doing that. So the outreach of that kind of stuff. So the showcase of all the other things going on is hitting.
Do we have any numbers of how many views we've gotten on all the different events? I mean,
there's so many different videos.
There's I mean,
a lot.
the most popular one. I mean, the most popular one's easily the Von Flu. That video is bananas. I mean, we're getting
explain to people what happened in that video.
Yeah, because
we'll interlace
Brazil is covering that video just as much as America is loving that video because we've hit almost 500,000 views on it. It's going crazy. People are really, really ecstatic about it. But I had never even heard of the maneuver or anything, and the guy that apparently invented the maneuver himself already commented on the video, which is
that's pretty cool,
insane. But explain more to us what it is.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. First, let me Keith Sires, our guy.
Yeah,
he filled in for one of our guys, our original guy. He got a job at Toyota and had to work, so he had to back out. So we went to Keith, and
Keith looks just like a complete. Like you pulled him off an island. He's just a complete savage.
Yeah, he's first 52 years old.
Yeah.
So cool.
He was on the series Alone, the 7th one, where they drop you off, survival. So the dude's a stud, man.
He looks like he belongs on Survivor.
He's just tough.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think the guy went in for a takedown and had him in a front headlock or a guillotine, what we call. So Keith had the guy in a guillotine. So a defense of that is you get an overhook and you have shoulder pressure, your shoulder pressure pressing on one side of their neck, right? Well, if you have the guillotine, you have your shoulder, right? So you're driving your shoulder into the neck, and then you're driving the other opponent's shoulder, his shoulder into the neck. So you get the choke.
Yep.
Right, and this the shoulder pressure. So it's a legit, move, but it's a defense to a front headlock or guillotine.
Yeah,
yeah.
So that was the technique.
It's weird because it took me back to all those old like those old Hoist Gracie fights, because watching that in circa 1992 or 3 or whatever, the bootleg copy of UFC 1 and 2 or whatever it was, and watching it and having to rewind it, what the hell happened? What's going on? Yeah. And you can hear the voices on there, what happened? What is he asleep? What's going on? What happened? So it's just paying attention to that, and the
commentators that got him in some sort of foot lock or some sort of
toe hold.
They don't know. They don't know what the But yeah, so if you don't know what's going on, you're like, well, what just happened?
Right, yeah.
But it's a legit choke and defense to it. So,
and Marcus, did you mention that the guy who invented the move commented on the post as well?
Yeah. Well, and like you see like all the comments and everything on it, and now people are just all like getting off on the fact that they recognize the maneuver, and they're like, I too see that it's the Von Flu, and it's just like, yeah, cool, dude. Like, so did everyone else, but I saw someone comment being like, I teach like private classes for this maneuver and things similar to this. If anyone's interested, hashtag Von Flu, and I was just like, okay, this guy, small business probably using his opportunity to put himself over. I get it.
Yeah, right.
Whatever, a little tacky, but whatever. And then I look at it and I'm like, oh, it's Jason Von Flu. That guy. Fine. You know what, bud? You can tell anyone you got a seminar for this.
And if he wants to come on the podcast,
exactly. Yeah. It's like,
do that too, by the
do you
way.
want to come to the expo and show us all how it's really done?
Do
Please.
Von Flu seminar.
Yeah.
But it was also, as we were getting those notifications back, I was like, because you see a bunch of foreign language on comments and stuff like that. You're like, oh, it's some bot or something like that, or you're trying to get me to click some link. I'm like, oh no, these are probably legit.
Yeah,
these are probably legit people. It's like all in
But
Portuguese.
isn't that crazy though? Like all over the world, people
all over the world.
are
Yeah,
seeing,
it's amazing.
seeing,
Dude. 500,000 views.
Is
that what it was? 517,000 views or something like that.
Yeah, and like 17% of that's coming just directly from Brazil, and then we're getting a huge audience from Spain, Argentina, these places where it's just fascinating. You don't realize how global something like jiu-jitsu is until you see literally something directly like that, and you're like, oh, everyone is interested in something like this. This is its true reach.
Grappling in general is, I mean, like Abu Dhabi and the Mundials and all these kind of humongous. Abu Dhabi is 80cc fight club, right? 80 Abu Dhabi Combat Club, right? I mean, that's for the beyond trillionaires that all gather and just fight for us.
Some like blood sport stuff.
Yeah, it started out like if you did judo or wrestling or sambo, and some people still fight. It wasn't wasn't just jujitsu, but it's great.
Big deal. Yeah, big deal. Yeah.
Yeah, I found it. It's just, I don't know, like if anything, it was just humbling more of just like I take pride in like feeling like I know at least a little bit about a lot of sports kind of thing. And it's just like I want to be able to hold a conversation in most of these things. You don't want to be the guy at the bar who can't talk about the one sport kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's like.
But I asked the other coaches and competitors, and I'm like, have you guys seen a quintet in the area? And they're like,
yeah.
I mean, so I don't know if there's.
Yeah,
I don't.
It was a big part of the draw. I mean, it was a huge part.
But that quintet structure, it's just not. You don't see that a lot. To answer your question,
well, it makes me eager for more. Honestly, it's just that's why I texted Derek the other night, and I was like, we should just look into more jiu-jitsu tournaments. I was like, this just seems. I was like, something specifically like this seems like a lot of fun. I was like, and it's just cool people, good energy. It felt like a very collaborative effort for a lot of people who are about to get on a mat and beat each other up kind of vibe, which is like just very fascinating.
Yeah. It's like you hug before and after.
Right, yeah,
sure. It's a pretty good community overall. Again, there's some bad apples, but it's a good community.
Yeah, I think a lot of that, again, the stigma attached to it is a lot of that is just performative. Leading up to it, they're hyping up a fight. Like who you see, most recently the Strickland and Kamaev or whatever. They're just hyping it up and calling each other's moms bad names and stuff like that. And then afterwards they're like, hey, we
they get a fist
drew
bump
a crowd, didn't we? Right. Yeah,
yep.
exactly. Yeah. So,
but but the nice thing about it too, and when I'd get with the coaches, I'm like, we don't know, what's going to come up. We don't know what, but the good thing is we could make it whatever we want it to make. And so safety was a big piece of it. We didn't have the mats for slamming, it would be one, or, suplexes, that kind of stuff, jumping into guard or jumping to flying submissions or something like that. We didn't do those, but everything else was legal. And at the little rules meeting beforehand, one of the coaches was like, well, what about smothering? You know what smothering is?
No.
That's where you physically reach up and cover their nose and their mouth.
Why is that okay?
and we're like, okay, yeah, I like it. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, so because you're not going to injure the person, but as long as you know that it's legal, then it doesn't come off as a dick move.
That's okay. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So if you can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
Let's. But it's funny. You can have some dude's back, and they're fighting all your chokes, and you just go. You just cover their.
Be a shame if you couldn't breathe.
You sit in their face like you mother.
Yeah, that's great.
But it leaves huge openings, right? Like if you're trying to get them to move an arm, they're gonna try to pull that hand off.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah. So, but
it's like checking the oil.
The ones that could
like a
really injure you, and then we didn't want those, and then obviously the people that were competing have competed before and train a lot and know that it's not worth to the injury. So you get in a bad position. You got beat.
Yeah.
So
that's something
you just have.
You brought up a great point too, though. Is out of the entire expo, I feel like, at least in my ear, I feel like I only heard maybe like a first aid call like 2-3 times, and it was just for like a scrape from some bars.
Somebody cut their finger on at the powerlifting thing. I think they pinched it. They pinched it in between the plates or something like that. And then we had a girl just get nervous on stage, per se. And but other than that,
with the multitude of
all the things
that
going
we
on,
had going on, and all the different pieces, and I mean, especially with some of the strongman stuff where they're just really unique, odd, heavy things. Like for us to have something like that go so smooth and just be like, all right, we need some Band-Aids.
Right, yeah.
That's pretty freaking cool.
It's pretty freaking cool.
Especially because I've been to, you can go to a high school sports game and, have 2 ambulances roll up before the end.
Yeah, yeah.
So that was fantastic.
Yeah. It was really, again, I can't think of how it could have been any smoother.
No.
We had a meeting before the
parade. We needed a parade.
Right, yes.
We had a meeting before the expo. Marcus and I were with Trevor Baker, the co-runner of the expo.
Right,
And he told them, he goes, because the expo is supposed to finish at 5. He's like, we plan to be out of here by 6. Like like all the booths packed up pretty much. And they're like, there's no way that's going to happen. And I mean, I come out there at like 5:30 and I'm like, oh my gosh,
you're right. It was by
like
4. Like it was all packed
I was
up.
like,
what time did you
honestly,
come back?
I don't remember,
pay attention,
but it was. I walked in like almost everybody was gone.
Yeah,
we were out the door by 6 pretty much.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, everything was wrapped. I mean,
Yeah.
it was honestly like we've been saying, like it was just smooth. It was just we went the day before.
Right.
We were all prepared, and then the day of, everybody loaded in and loaded out, and it was just a straight line. I mean, there really wasn't much.
And the staff and people working it, all I had to do was find somebody with the earpiece and go, hey, we need to hook up this time clock. I'm on it. It wasn't like any hassle, or I need Derek, and they'd call you, and that I think that went very.
Yeah, everybody just kind of handled it. Yeah,
very
on the fly.
well.
Yeah, I mean, great crew, great experience, great people organizing it, great competitors. I mean, it was just the perfect storm.
So what about next time? Like, what do you think? What do you think we should?
Sumo.
So we've
Sumo has to happen.
We've had like I said, we've had a bunch more vendors that have reached out. The day of, I had probably 2 or 3 people come up to me just on the expo floor and just say, hey, have you ever thought about having this? Their arm wrestling was a big one. And I was like, well, and I'll say it on here and people can report it to whoever they need to. I mean, we reached out to the arm wrestling people. They never got back with us here in town, So that may change, but I mean, we have arm wrestling people that are ready to come down.
Yeah, and I think it will because it was a success,
right? Yeah.
So now other people will want to be a part.
It's
of
worth
that
the gamble now
because now they know it's not just going to be some cluster.
And I think we should find a way to fit in some live music.
No, like we get some live music.
Yes.
I think that I think we'll separate things out a little bit next year. I think that there's 2 more ballrooms in that same facility. Feedback from the powerlifting people was that they kind of like their own isolated kind of venue, which is fine, So we would have them up there for that. If we take out that big stage that was there and a lot of those seats, I mean, we have all kinds of room there. I mean, maybe we get 2 mats.
Yeah, I thought
I
thought the stage was kind of a wasted opportunity.
Well, we didn't. Yeah. Nobody knew what it was there for. So, and it was kind of like one of those things, like
this is for the next event that's coming.
I don't
we could put the main stage over where the powerlifting was and have jiu-jitsu and or strongman, I should say, and strongman next to each other. So whenever you're sitting in the chairs, you can just see straight at both. Something like that, maybe.
We had a pretty good time brainstorming a lot of things, as we were kind of relaxing and debriefing on Saturday night.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I big plans. I mean, we kind of threw it out there that we would want to, want to do something where we were like forced to go somewhere bigger, like the Ford Center in like 3 or 4 years. But then I was like, I think the national events that it works perfect for it, because I don't think that you don't want all that stuff going on in the same area like the Ford Center would make you do, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's
parking's actually better.
Parking is better,
you go to the Ford Center, you're going to have to park,
right? Yeah, right.
And the parking lot there is perfect because it's just there's plenty of space.
Yeah, I would love to like we tried to get like a 5K Friday night beforehand, and we couldn't get that going on. We tried to get car show on Friday night. We couldn't get that going on. And those are it's because we just learning and just getting permits and stuff like that. What we need.
What about you think that we've gained enough coverage that maybe we can get some influencers? Some celebrities.
Yeah.
Markus will be there.
Yeah. Markus will sign an autograph.
I was there all day, Scott. What are you talking about?
Yeah. So those are always on the table. The other good thing, and kind of all these things that have happened are just been kind of providential in my opinion, but we seamlessly partnered with the Nashville Fit Show, and those guys have been amazing as far as kind of like some mentoring and supporting, kind of letting us know what works and what doesn't right out of the gate. They were there. So Markus and I are going to go down to there you're still in town, June the 5th and 6th, to Nashville, and just go down there and just take notes of what they've got going on.
I mean, what about on our end? Mm-hmm. What if we brought in like a Craig Jones, like a big name, to do a seminar,
right? Yeah, sure,
or something like that.
It would be great to do a panel.
Yeah, I would love to have a panel.
That's
discussion. I think it's what it's missing.
Yes, and we can turn it into a podcast episode or something like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What do you? If I'm not tracking, what do you mean?
So so at the Arnold, they have the floor going on, and on the floor, Arnold, Jocko, Chris Bumstead, Jay Cutler.
Yeah, I mean,
all of these guys that are bodybuilding guys, and Arnold and Jocko come up and they do a panel discussion. And they have a little moderator that's kind of like us, kind of interviewing them or whatever, and kind of.
Or you can do like a Q&A kind of thing. So it's like they'll talk about whatever.
So
is
this
relevant.
the crowds listening to the question and answer.
You can have a seat in those chairs. So at the Arnold, you just go and stand, or you can buy seats or whatever. At the Arnold is so big, you have to buy a ticket to everything. You can view it from afar, or you can get up front and see it. So if you really want to see it, you can.
It's going to cost you,
right? And it's not $20 like ours was. But they're the Arnolds. So I really would like to have panel discussions.
Yeah.
I don't know that even next year though is the time for that, because you have to build a certain audience for that. You have to have people a lot of the people that would be interested in the panel discussions kind of going on are probably competing, or, the people that would want to hear about the bodybuilding stuff or what it's like to go through prep or something like that are probably over there behind stage, getting ready to go out on stage,
Yeah.
So what do you do from there? Do we just talk about fitness? Do we have local gym owners? Do we have all of these kind of things going on?
My thought,
you and all the, local, jiu-jitsu coaches that own gyms,
My thought to solve that is you turn it into a day and a half event.
Well, there's that. So you do all that stuff like on a Friday evening,
Exactly,
while everything else is going on.
Yep. Early bird kickoff.
Right, yeah.
That's when you get the panels, vendors a little bit early.
Right, yeah.
Because I think we talked about having people come beforehand and kind of, ask, and we didn't have anybody come beforehand.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we,
I think there's opportunity there. I just don't think that we, as in Trevor and myself, executed the message of a lot of that stuff very well. Because common problem with using social media only is that it gets buried. you kick out so many different things that ends up getting buried in the algorithm. And if you don't catch it, you don't catch it, right? So I think the way that information is disseminated, not only to the public, but also to the athletes, organizers, a lot of that stuff, improvements in that area next year will make it even that much more smoother. And then we can have things like, self-defense seminar starts at 1:00 in ballroom B, There you go. If you want to go to that, it's up there. And it's in this separate area where people can kind of focus and pay attention to. And it's not, Von Rocket down there, playing a guitar solo, which was awesome. But it's distracting to a lot of the other things too going on. So I think that's the fine tuning part of it. There's so much random things that you could find to polish if you want to seek it out.
Yeah.
But at the end of it, it's like I think all of us love it so much and are so passionate about it in all these different ways that. I mean, we could spend the next 5 to 10 years polishing this thing and still be like, all right, well, remember in year 4 when we did this? What if we revamp that for year 9? And we're just going to keep building and growing, and it's just going to be a giant Lego monster after a while. So
I can tell you this, that I never, nice. I mean, there with anything, there were times of frustration, just because of like organizing something to that size is going to have those, right? But I'm ready to do it again. I would have done it again this weekend. I mean, it was just fun. And being with your people, and pulling off this humongous event was just tons of fun. And like you said, it was like, hey, we need somebody to go over there. Okay. Like Alyssa, like my daughter and my son's girlfriend stood back there backstage all day long and all evening long organizing competitors. They're 20 and 18. They've never done that before in their life, but they're like, right, we'll go back there and we'll do it,
and killed it.
Killed it. Nothing but compliments about where'd you get these girls at? I'm like, they're high school. That's my daughter.
They have work ethic.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. They're from my house this morning. Just killed it. And I think it's just, anyway, it's just a testament of everyone that was involved from top to bottom was just bought in. And that's exactly what happens whenever that happens. It's just beautiful. Nobody was forced to be there. Everybody wanted to be there and wanted to be a part of it. And it was a beautiful thing, I thought.
Absolutely. Yeah. It just makes me excited for next year. It makes me excited for what else can we expand on? What are things that we're going to think about, 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months from now, where we're going to be like, why didn't we do this? Or why did we do that?
Yeah.
And then just revamp a whole new idea. Like there's so much that we can do.
Yeah.
So it's just exciting, especially with, if it feels like Evansville already really supports it, and we've only barely begun to tap the oil.
Oh yeah,
Well, and it also feels like the people who win are excited for next year already.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I know like the 10 Planet guys, they're like, oh man, we can get more teams next year. We can get more. Yeah, but that's.
I would love to. So like, we're all wrestling nuts here, and we've got big plans for the wrestling that we've kind of just, when it's Saturday evening, you've pulled something like that off and you're tired and you're about 3 or 4 beers into it, man, you come up with some great ideas.
Imagination starts flowing, bro.
You come up with some great ideas. But the beautiful thing about it is that we haven't talked to other parties yet, but the guys that we're with, I think would be 100% on it. I'll quit teasing it from there, but we'll, it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
We're getting Trevor Baker in the ring. Sorry to spoil it.
That's the news.
Exactly.
But yeah, next year we're looking forward to it and be smooth and hopefully we'll take about a month off. Like I said, we're in Mexico next week, so we're going to do a podcast from there.
Expect sand in the next one.
Yeah, that's right. Probably wind noise and novelty drinks.
Some adult beverages.
Right, yeah. I'll be ready to go for next year.
You compete next year? Roll around.
I don't go. Yeah,
Roll
I'm
around a
too
little
old,
bit.
man. I'm 57.
Yeah, you can roll around a little bit.
I'm 57.
We'll
I'll
do an
still roll around.
We'll
Yeah,
do
but I'm
do
not.
like an exhibition. You and Sonny.
I want to. You need to give this the Scott Otis Turtle Up seminar.
Yeah.
The most aggravating move in all of jiu-jitsu is trying to move this guy out of a turtle position. It's just impossible.
Is
It's
the
comical.
turtle position? So we can chop this later or whatever. But is the I saw this younger kid. I have footage of it somewhere, but I saw this younger kid basically sit on his tail, and he had his hands kind of clasped like this, and he basically just waddled around, baiting and goading the guy to get on the ground with him the entire time.
Well, that's butt scooting.
But
That's
That was wild.
But,
and I was just like, this is clearly a strategy, but you look real odd.
Well,
he was just the whole time,
yeah.
it was like a cobra. Like,
and wait till then eventually they'll get a hold of him. Like they'll grab him with their toes or something like that, or hook them behind their ankle and then trip them down.
Your foot locked.
Yeah, I was like, it was terrifying that it was like a younger kid, just got some good flow and everything to him, and I was just like, he's very confident about waddling on his butt right now.
I never thought I'd be terrified by somebody chasing me waddling on the butt.
Yeah, so I was just like, he's goading this man to get on the ground.
Man, we need to get you out more.
What is a turtle?
Turtle.
Yeah, basically just on all fours, down.
Like a giant boulder.
Back in my day, they used to call that the
boulder.
skunk.
Agile boulder. And you're thinking, oh yeah, I can take his back. No, you can't.
You just can't. It's just like a concrete rock right there.
Well, yeah. When you get older, you just you can't be near as explosive because you end up hurting yourself. So so you're just you defend a lot and you just get good at defending, and it aggravates people, and then they make mistakes, and then you take advantage.
Yes.
Defense,
and you wear them down. Like you get the young guys, the fit guys, and
he talks shit.
And
Talk shit to you.
You're just kind of cooking them, and you got to bring them like here's their age and fitness level, and you're down here. So after about 2 minutes, they're huffing and puffing.
Yeah.
So now they're down, to about where you could maybe do some things.
Yeah.
So it's just strategy.
Yes. Scott Otis adaptive jiu-jitsu.
Big ego.
It's amazing to watch.
Yeah.
Amazing to watch.
That's awesome. I got to see that.
Oh yeah,
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Maybe that's stuff to look at for that expo next year too. Is just like some sort of exhibitions in general. If we can provide like
Well, and we talked about that too, because
tournament,
we have some, Dana and Sarah, high level world champion, jiu-jitsu gals in this area, and do an exhibition, kind of stuff with them.
What does an exposition entail?
Well, it's
Just
just
like a super fight.
yeah, just like
Just two people they're going to fight.
doesn't have any bearing on what's going on in the event around them. It's just like we're just going to watch two people go at it.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, just kind of like
Not in a Jake Paul, Mike Tyson, or Logan Paul, Mike
yeah,
Tyson. kind of
Ronda
way, but-
Rousey, Gina Carano thing.
Oh,
Like
it's
it's just
it's rough.
Yeah, 17 seconds. But I think something like that could just be exciting, especially with this one in particular. It's like we didn't have like a woman presence.
Yeah.
So being able to have like two high level female athletes there, it's like, all right, let's see the other side of the coin here. Something like that would be really
it's so huge.
Maybe even bring in some gi. I mean, we're a traditional gi school. You know, it was a no gi tournament.
Yeah.
We have 2 no gi classes out of the 10 classes that we have. So we're primarily a traditional gi school.
Oh yeah.
So
seeing
some
that would be
some comments have come in from me on maybe doing, but.
And adds 1,000 different variables to the match. If you're in a gi or no gi.
Yeah, when you get grips, that you can
grab by collars and stuff like that. You're not slippery.
Now, some people will think it's a little more boring, which looking at it, if you don't know anything, it is.
Mm-hmm.
But that's some things that we've talked about too.
Yeah. Yeah, I am definitely looking forward to it. And then, everybody that we had this year come back and then add some more to it, and then just keep trucking.
Just build a legacy out of it, honestly.
Just a question I had: did everybody like their event? Like with me, jiu-jitsu is kind of like I'll handle it and I'll take care of it.
Yeah,
you didn't have to babysit anybody.
No. No. As a matter of fact, a shout out to Amanda and James. Amanda with Southern Powerlifting Federation, and James with the United States Strongman Association, USSA. Amanda's out of somewhere around Atlanta, and James is somewhere out of Dayton, Ohio. We didn't do shit.
That's great. That's awesome.
They handled all the registration. Of course, they have federation. Everything's kind of through a federation there. They did all their own registration, all their own merch for the most part. They load in on a big trailer. They unload it. They had, they each had like 3 or 4 guys that kind of whipped that stuff together. That watching the powerlifting thing go up was pretty. Because you're talking about humongous monolith equipment, right?
And people.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yeah, but
efficient.
Load it in.
Yeah.
Tear it down. Load it out. See you later. Thanks. And took care of everything. Same thing with Total Chaos Wrestling. Brought the ring in there, backed it up, set it up, put on their show, did their own lights and sound, did everything. I mean, literally, they all just needed like power. That was it. That's all we did. So yeah, come back every year.
Yeah.
And the powerlifting people and the strongman people said that, at least at one time said that they want this to be like their premier event. Like, this is like their Arnold's, per se.
Yeah.
So, and hopefully they still feel that way afterwards. I feel like they do.
Yeah. But if we can start making this, all these different Midwest federations, if this starts becoming their Super Bowl, then we've established something,
right?
Because it's the fittest day of the year.
I think it's important that you get people that you trust, that you don't have to babysit,
right? When worked with them before, now there's familiarity to it, right? Yeah. So it makes it even that much smoother.
And the emotional investment now too.
Right.
They've been with it since it's an infant. So it's like now 5 years later, it's like, you guys remember what we were doing?
Right. Yeah.
It's like let's continue
growing to
this
build
thing.
that. Yeah.
This might be too early to ask, but are we still planning on doing it in May every year?
Yeah, I think it's May 15th next year is what the date is, or May 15th, 2027. Yeah, is already the, I guess I would call it the tentative date. I mean, nothing is there yet, but we want to. There's a lot of things that we tried to throw at it this year that kind of fell, sumo was one. We tried to do a high rocks race. That kind of fell out. 5K, so we shot a bunch up in the air. Things that stuck were executed incredibly well. So we'll just try to keep adding to it next year, kind of see what's going on with it.
May 15th, 2027.
May 15th, 2027. River City Fit Expo.
Be
the
there.
sequel.
Electric 2.0.
Electric Boogaloo.
Right. All right, guys. Well, appreciate everybody coming out.
Appreciate the opportunity to be a part of it.
Oh, dude, you're my boy. And for many more to come. Make sure you follow Better Human Podcast on YouTube, Spotify, and all of our social media. Look at River City Fit Expo for all the updates. Follow that on all social media platforms.
MPC Indiana Muscle.
MPC Indiana Muscle. Scott Otis Jiu-Jitsu on Facebook.
And Offscript Studios.
Offscript Studios.
Oh, yeah. Offscript Studios. For sure.
Oh, and while we're at it, ORMC, soon to be announced.
Just you wait.
All right. Thank you, y'all.
All right.
Thanks.